performing here, group members work together, getting the job done. Like they have a goal, they have some kind of group objectives. So in this stage, they start creating, applying those group goals and objectives. They start achieving those group goals and objectives. Then adjoining here, groups may disband after either meeting their goals or because members leave. What happens is, once you start a project, you need a team. Once you have a team, you get together, you start understanding each other, you'll try to strive towards working as a team, cooperating with each other to accomplish your group goals and objectives. Once your project is done, the group disappears. In the sense, the group itself, dissolves, or sometimes it so happens that group members leave, and the group is either it completely gets dissolved, or some members are still there in a particular project. It so happens that when we create a temporary WhatsApp group for some purpose, so people are there in the group, and once the job is done, generally people leave. Some people leave, some people don't leave, some people delete the group. Okay, this is how we go about in a group when you have common goals or objectives. Okay, that's about the 5 stages of group development. Now coming to team effectiveness. When you think a team works very efficiently, there are certain basic characteristics which are very, very important to take into consideration if we need or if we want a team to work very efficiently. So these are clear communication among all members. Yeah, that's very, very important.
Ma'am, we can't hear you. Ma'am, we can't hear you.
It's 1:38 p.m. To hear your notifications, follow the notification and wait for to turn on notification after. It's 1:38 p.m.
Can you all hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll continue. So that's the thing. And then problem solving done by the group. All the group members should come together to solve the problems.
Madam, kindly repeat, ma'am, because we didn't hear you anything.
Problem solving done by the group I started.
No, ma'am. Team effectiveness.
You didn't listen to anything?
No, ma'am. Only we heard team effectiveness and characteristics. That's all.
Yeah, coming to team effectiveness, to make a team work very effectively, there has to have certain basic characteristics. A team comes together as a team because of certain objectives which they prepare to accomplish. So to make or to accomplish these objectives, the team has to work very effectively and efficiently. For this purpose, there has to have some characteristics which definitely makes the team effective. Clear communication among all members. Communication is very, very important when you have to make the team effective. Then regular brainstorming session with all the members who are participating in the team. Then consensus among team members. Everybody should be willing to cooperate and willing to have an opinion or come out with some kind of a similar kind of an opinion. They should cooperate between each other. Then problem solving done by the groups. All the group members, if they have any kind of a problem, they should come together and solve it as a team. It's not like it's not my problem, so I don't care about it. It's not like that. When you're working in a project, if there's any kind of a problem or a disturbance, all the team members should come and involve themselves. Then commitment to the project and other team members. Like when you're working as a team, you should show commitment towards the team. It's not like you are a part of the team, but you don't work for this team, but you work for some other team. That does not, make sense. And in this way, the team does not work very effectively. Then regular team meetings are effective and inclusive. When you are working on a project with other team members, you should know what the other team members are also doing. So regularly trying to, fix up some meetings and trying to understand the, status of the project is very, very important. Timely handoff from team members to others to ensure the project keeps moving in the right direction. Yeah. Then positive and supportive working relationship among all team members. That is, everybody has to have a positive attitude towards each other. Then only a harmony can be maintained within the team. Otherwise, the team suffers and ultimately the project or the, productivity suffers. Yeah. Then these are the characteristics which actually tell us that if we follow these characteristics, definitely a team can work effectively and efficiently. Then opposite of these characteristics, you can take it as, whenever a team is not working efficiently, then the opposite of these you can take into consideration, because when there's no communication, when there are no clear roles and responsibilities, when the team members don't cooperate, or when team members don't share any information, and when team members blame each other for, something goes wrong and nobody accepts the responsibility, and there are no supporters in the team. Like if something goes wrong, everybody is ready to throw the, remark on others. Like it's not because of me, it's because of you, the thing has gone wrong. So this kind of attitude, if it continues, then definitely team does not work effectively. Yeah. Then in the next section of this unit, we have an example which they have given depending upon the 5 stages of group development. Here, example of a team moving into the 5 stages. I don't think we should go in detail with this example, because all the forming, norming, storming, performing, and adjourning, all these 5 stages, they have just enacted like a role play. Okay, they have just enacted how they make use of these 5 stages. Like there's a team background, there's a background and team members, where the other team members include, there's Rohit, Ramya, Rahul, Usha, Vijita, and Sunanda is the team leader who has about 15 years of experience in project manager. So like that, how this whole team starts knowing each other, starts coming together as a team. That is in the first stage, initial meeting, that is forming. Then the actual project work begins, that is in the stage of storming. Then in the third stage, that is norming, everybody has started working together as a team and the work is going on very smoothly, that is norming. Then performing, significant progress is made because all the team members are working very effectively, and the team also is run by an experienced team leader who is seeing that the work goes on well. Then adjourning, then once the project is completed and they have gained a lot of success and a lot of credits from it, the project can be ended and the team can be dissolved. So this is how these team members have just given a kind of a story which they have narrated, how these members have gone through these 5 stages of group development. The next is an alternative model for temporary group with deadlines. One thing is, whenever we are starting a group, we start a group for a long-term process or for a short-term process. Like suppose if you're working on a project, you say, okay, we'll start this project. I need a team. I need group members. So that is how we have this group development, stages of group development, which are forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. This is one type of forming a group. Another type is where sometimes it so happens that certain then and there groups will be created. Certain temporary groups with deadlines will be created depending upon the work, depending upon in what kind of a work or a project you are involved in. Okay, so these temporary groups have deadlines and they generally don't follow the 5-stage model. Okay, and over here, these temporary groups generally follow certain factors, which are first of all, their first meeting sets the group's direction. Like initially only they start off with, this is the work which we all have to do, and these are the things which we have to accomplish and all that stuff. Then this first phase of group activity is also again continued, and a transition takes place at the end of this first phase, which occurs exactly when the group has used half its allotted time. Like these are temporary groups wherein they don't have any kind of time to, mingle with each other or try to build up rapport between each other, try to become more comfortable with each other. All these are actually not there in temporary group. They are like, they just come, join the group, do the work and leave. That's all. These are called as temporary groups. Okay. Yeah. Then there are certain basic properties of work groups. Okay. Whenever you're working in a group, there are certain basic properties which are roles, norms, status, size, and cohesiveness. These are the basic properties. So why do we have these properties? Why is it necessary that a group should have norms, should have status or cohesiveness, size, and all this? So it becomes very, very important because work groups have properties that shape the behavior of the members and make it possible to explain and predict a large portion of individual behavior. That's why it becomes very, very important for a group to maintain certain properties. The first property is role. What do you mean by a role? What do you mean by a role? A simple example is we watch movies. Everybody watches movies, right? So if an actor is playing a particular role in a particular movie, the actor plays a different role in another movie. The same actor will play a different role in another movie, isn't it? So like this, a role is nothing but a kind of a set of expected behavior patterns attributed to someone occupying a given position in a social unit. That is called as a role. So in whichever situation you are, whatever the situation demands, you're supposed to play that particular role. For example, if a person is there, the person is a manager in an office. In the office environment, he is playing the role of a manager. Okay. At home, he is, father, he is husband, he is son. Okay. So he is playing different roles again at home. So like this, a person can have a person can play different roles depending upon the situation. Okay. So a person is expected, a kind of a behavior pattern is expected by someone who is occupying a particular position in a social unit. That is called as a role. So in this process, we have role identity. Okay, we have role perception, we have role expectations. That is, people, role identity means certain attitudes and actual behaviors are consistent with the role, and they create the role identity. Okay. Role perception is how we are supposed to act in a given situation is a role perception. Okay, how we are supposed to act in a given situation, how you are perceiving that situation, you are playing that role. Role expectation is how others believe you should act in a given situation. People are expecting that your role should be like this in this situation. That is role expectations. Okay. Then we have role conflict. Sometimes it so happens that you are supposed to play multiple roles, okay, which results in a role conflict. Like sometimes, for example, the manager and the father, for example, the person has to play the role of a manager in the office. At the same time, there is a demand that he also plays the role as a father. So here again, it is a role conflict which is created. He's like does not know which role to play. So like this, we also encountered with so many of role conflicts in our day-to-day life sometimes. Then the second property is norms and status. What are norms? Norms are the general rules and regulations, right? So norms, definitely when in a group, and to maintain a group properly, norms have to be created. If there are no norms, group members will not work efficiently, and the group will not, it will not sustain for a long period of time. Norms tell members that norms are given to a group, and these norms actually tell the members what they are supposed to do and what they are not supposed to do in certain situations. So depending upon this, different groups, communities, societies have different norms, okay, depending upon what objectives, what their goals are. Yeah, status is something like a position which you have. Okay, we can also call it as a socially defined position or rank given to groups or group members by others, and it permeates every society. So basically, in a particular group, if you are a part of a group, you tend to have a particular status, as we already discussed about status earlier. Like it is like a prestige to be a part of a group. Okay, so certain groups will be there wherein if you are a part of that group, you feel you get some kind of a status out of it. You get some kind of a recognition, some kind of a prestige that you enjoy or you maintain. That's about status relating to group. Yeah. Then cohesiveness. What is cohesiveness? Cohesiveness is nothing but how well you are together in a group and how you actually work as a group. In actual terms, you can also take it as the degree to which members are attracted to each other and are motivated to stay in the group, how well you are connected to each other, and how motivated you are to be a part of that group. That's called as cohesiveness. So cohesiveness within groups develops when these groups are working or have spent a lot of time together, and sometimes it so happens that small groups definitely have facilitate high interaction, and cohesiveness also is maintained. So cohesiveness is very, very important because it has been found to be related to group productivity. If there's cohesiveness within the group members, then definitely all of them will work towards common goals, common objectives, and group productivity will increase. Okay, yeah. Then we have, based on this group properties, we have one more small topic which is called as group shift. What do you mean by group shift? Yes. And anybody, what do you mean by group shift? Any guesses? Like any idea? What do you mean by group shift or group think?
Any say a person who is not adjusting to the group norms, he'll shift the group, or
No,
Something
no,
like that, ma'am.
no. There are
My
two,
guess.
no, not exactly. There are two common terms which are used in groups. One is groupthink and one is group shift. Groupthink and group shift we'll be discussing in detail in the next unit, unit 11 also. So basically in groupthink, whenever so you might, I'll just give you an example. There might be situations where yes, can you just please mute? Please mute. Whoever is talking, please mute. Yeah. So groupthink is where, I'll give you an example. For example, you might be in a situation wherein you're working in a project, okay? Or suppose you go out to somebody's house for lunch, okay? And obviously when you go out, or say you go to a restaurant, okay? You go to a restaurant to eat something with a group, and you didn't like the food over there. And you were about to say that the food is not so good, but all the other group members started praising the food, like, wow, the food is so tasty and the food is very good. What do? Do you still say the food is not good? Yes. Do you still say? Yes.
No, ma'am.
We cannot say that, because sometimes it so happens that we need to we need to suppress ourselves and we need to go in for group opinion. Okay, so this is what is called as group think. Then we have one more concept called as group shift. What is group shift? Group shift, somebody said it's like shifting of your place from a group. Yes? No, not exactly. But group shift is basically, it's some kind of a situation wherein a person in a group, a particular initial position of individual members of a group are exaggerated towards a more extreme position. I'll give you an example. When you are in a group, certain things you want to say, certain things you want to achieve, certain things you want to, what do you say, deliver. You deliver it, or you say it, or you accomplish it more boldly than staying alone. Yes, that is called as group shift. So when people are in groups, they make decisions about risk differently from when they are alone. So when you are in a group, you don't bother about the risk. It's okay, all are there. You can take bold decisions. But when you are alone, the same kind of a decision feels very, very riskier. Okay, that's called as group shift. You all got these two concepts, group think and group shift?
Group shift once again, ma'am.
See, group shift is basically when you are in a group, okay, your position because of other group members gets exaggerated towards a more extreme position. Okay, that is, you tend to take more riskier decisions when you are in a group than when you are alone. This might be, for example, there are so many instances wherein, for example, many of you all might be working. Yes? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, for example, you have to say something to your superior, or you have to go and ask something to your boss. Individually, you feel it's very riskier. But if all group members say it's okay, let's go and ask, how do you take it? Do you feel riskier, or do you don't feel risk? Do you feel the risk, or do you don't feel the risk?
We don't feel, ma'am, because even others are there.
Yes, because even others are there who are a part of that particular group, and any kind of a problem or anything, everybody will share it. Yes, right? So like that, when you are in a group, you tend to take more riskier, more bold decisions than when you are alone. Okay, that's called as a group shift. Got it, all of y'all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yeah. So now moving on to, that's about with unit 10, models of group development. Now we are done with that group, unit 10. Now we are moving towards unit 11, that is group processes and decision making. Under group processes, we have decision making. Okay, under group processes, we have decision making. What do you mean by group decision making? What do you mean by group decision making?
The decision which has taken by concerning all.
Yes, basically in group decision making, it is a situation wherein people think or are brought together to solve problems so that everybody, the problem is resolved in a proper manner. Basically, what happens is, sometimes it is seen that depending upon individual decisions, or they generally see which decision is more effective, whether individual decision is more effective or group decision making is more effective. So if you're a part of a group, generally it is known as a collaborative decision making or a collective decision making. That is called as a group decision making. Okay. When you are in a group decision making process, the decision is no longer attributed to only a single person. Okay, it is not attributed to a single person, but it is attributed to all the individuals in that particular group. And the decisions made by groups are often different from those made by individuals. When you are a part of a group, everybody takes a decision, and these decisions, the decisions made by group members are often different from the decisions made by individuals. Okay, so in this process, we will see what are the various aspects in group decision making. So basically, what's the difference between a group decision making and an individual decision making? Mostly in almost all the organizations, group decision making is largely applied. Okay. But it does not,
Yes,
it's not necessary that only group decision making are preferred rather than individual decision. It's nothing like that. Every aspect has its own pros and cons. Whether you're taking a group decision or whether you're taking an individual decision, every factor has its own pros and cons. So let's see what are the strengths of group decision making and what are the weaknesses of group decision making. Whenever we are taking a decision in a group, groups generally generate more complete information and knowledge. Obviously, 10 heads are better than one head, they say. Okay. So by arranging or by elaborating on the resources which you have from various individuals or several individuals in the groups bring more input into the decision-making process. Okay. And they offer diversity of views. Obviously, when there are many people, everybody is giving their own viewpoints. And when you need a lot of creativity and when you lead varied decisions, a group decision-making process is more effective because you get different kinds of views from many members of the group. And group, it is also seen that group will always outperform even the best individual solution because there are so much of brainstorming which has taken place in a group decision-making process. Okay. Yeah. So group members who participate in making a decision are likely to be very enthusiastical. They're very enthusiastic and they support the group decision and they encourage others also to accept it. So these are some of the strengths of group decision making. Now coming to the weaknesses of group decision making. Always, as I've said, there are pros and cons for any aspect. It's not like one thing is the best, other thing is not the best. So here we have weaknesses for group decision making. Though we have so many strengths, there are also drawbacks. First thing is it's very time consuming because there are many people involved. You cannot take a decision very immediately. You have to take when quick decisions are needed. Group decision making is not so effective because you cannot take decision quickly. It's very time consuming. And groups typically take more time to reach a solution than would be the case if an individual was making a decision alone. There is conformity pressures in the group. One more thing is when you are trying to, when group decision making, in the group decision making process, there is conformity, pressure to conform. The thing which I told you about groupthink. Yes, groupthink is wherein you're actually, there is a pressure for you to conform. So, for example, when people are taking a decision in a group and everybody agrees to that particular viewpoint, but you are not agreeing. I mean, you are not so convinced with that viewpoint. But sometimes it so happens that just to be a part of the group, not to disturb the harmony of the group, you try to conform. So here, what is happening? You're pressurized to conform, sometimes from your own side or sometimes from the other group members. That's one of the drawback in group decision making. Yeah. Then group decisions suffer from ambiguous responsibility. In an individual decision, it's clear that one person is accountable for the final outcome. But in a group decision, the responsibility of any single member is watered down because nobody wants to take a responsibility. If the decision was good, if the decision was successful, then everybody wants to take the credit. But if the decision was not good, or if the outcome was not successful, nobody wants to take the credit and people start blaming each other for taking that kind of a decision. So these are some of the drawbacks, you can say, regarding group decision making, strengths and weaknesses regarding group decision making. Am I clear so far, all of y'all? Any doubts?
Yes, ma'am. No clear, ma'am. No doubt.
Clear, because I'm just rushing, I feel.
No, ma'am, it is very clear.
Yeah, okay, I'll continue. Yeah. The next topic in this is effectiveness and efficiency of group decision making. Effectiveness and efficiency of group decision making. Whether groups are more effective than individuals. What is the criteria? Like, are groups more effective or are individuals more effective? This depends upon the criteria which you use for defining effectiveness. For example, it says that in terms of accuracy, group decisions will generally tend to be more accurate. Okay. Sometimes it so happens that though depending upon the time, sometimes when in haste, sometimes the group decision making may fail. Okay. However, if decision effectiveness is defined in terms of speed, individuals are superior because it is
1
less
minute,
time.
ma'am. Someone is disturbing, ma'am.
Yeah, that's right. There's a disturbance which is coming. I'll just try to mute them.
We can't mute them, ma'am. Just we can say, Shalini, ma'am, you are disturbing, ma'am. Hello. Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes. So, however, if decision effectiveness is defined in terms of speed, individuals are more superior than group decision making. And if you want creativity in your decision making, then group is more effective. So here you are getting my point. Which is more effective depends upon the criteria. If you want quick speed decisions, individual is more effective. If you want creativity, if you want varied views, if you want diverged views, if you want more number of suggestions, then a group decision making is more effective. Okay. Yeah. Then we have cohesiveness, that is getting the team spirit. What do you mean by cohesiveness? I just now told you all cohesiveness. What do you mean by cohesiveness? In simple terms, I will tell you, if group members, if there's cohesiveness between the group members, they all will have a we feeling, W-E, we, our group goals, our group objectives. Okay. If they don't have cohesiveness, if the group is not cohesive in nature, then there is no we feeling, your group, like as if you're not a part of the group. Okay, that's called as cohesiveness. So you can imagine how important cohesiveness is to maintain or to sustain the group for a long period of time. If there is cohesiveness, there is team spirit, and all the individuals in the group work more efficiently. Okay. So cohesiveness as the pressures group members face to remain part of their groups. Highly cohesive work groups are ones in which the members are attracted to each other, accept the group goals, and help towards each other in meeting them. Okay. In a very uncohesive groups, the members dislike each other. Very uncohesive groups, members don't like each other, they dislike each other, and they don't mingle with each other, and they're not involved in solving or coming out with the group goals. Okay, a cohesiveness refers to a we feeling, a sense of belongingness towards the group. Whereas people who are not cohesive in nature, like groups which are not cohesive in nature, they feel they're not belonging to that particular group. They don't have that we feeling as such. Okay. Why do you think there is cohesiveness between groups? There are many factors which have shown to influence the extent to which group members tend to stick together. Why? Why are members sticking to each other? Like why there is so much of cohesiveness between group members and why there is no cohesiveness between group members? One of the important factor involves the severity of initiation into the group. And it is also seen that greater the difficulty people overcome to become a member of a group, the more cohesive the group will be. Okay, when you have the desire, drive to be a part of the group, definitely you will work together in the group and there's cohesiveness which is maintained. Okay. Yeah. Then group cohesiveness also tends to be strengthened under conditions of high external threat or competition. When there's a lot of competition, okay, suppose you're working for a particular organization and your boss says, we have some kind of a competition and it is we should see who wins, whether the other company wins or our company wins. So what is happening? It's some kind of an external threat you're getting, some kind of a competition in which you are. So what happens? All the group members come together because you want to win. You want your organization to win. Okay. So sometimes it so happens that when there is group threat or external threat, or when there is some kind of a competition, then cohesiveness is maintained. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Then, there are certain causes and consequences of group cohesiveness. What are the causes? Causes of group cohesiveness? It's given in a diagrammatic form. One is serves initiation, it's external threat, lots of time together, small groups, history of success. These factors tell us why some groups are cohesive in nature. that is serves initiation. That is when you are a part of the group, you take up the initiation that yes, I am a part of this particular group. I'm sticking together, and I am motivated to work as a team and come out with good results or accomplish my group goals and objectives. Yeah. Then, as I've told you, any kind of an external threat or competition also causes group to be more cohesive. Lots of time together. When you are a part of the group and you have spent a lot of time together as a team, cohesiveness increases. Okay. Then small groups. Always it is seen that small groups are better than large groups. Large groups cohesiveness is very difficult to maintain because sometimes team members get, they just leave the team, or sometimes the team gets dissolved or, diminished. Whereas a small group, team members are close together. They are working as a team and working very effectively. This way, cohesiveness is maintained in small groups more than large groups. History of success. When as a team, you have had a lot of success, like you have achieved so many targets, you have achieved so many projects, you have come out with success in so many projects. This kind of a history also causes a team or a group to maintain cohesiveness. That cohesiveness is maintained throughout. Okay. Then consequences. Why? What happens if there is cohesiveness in a group? Always, when there is cohesiveness in group, there are positive and negatives. They enjoy group membership. They participate in group activities. They accept group goals, and there is low absenteeism. Like everybody comes regularly. They work with. They participate with each other. They enjoy being a part of the group. Whereas negative terms, if we think, loss of sight of goals, that is groupthink. Groupthink can come in because of cohesiveness sometimes, and many work against organizations' interests. Like though the consequences of being in a cohesive group, sometimes it can be because you are not interested, but still you are being a part of that particular organization. Okay, so these are some of the causes and consequences of cohesiveness. Yes. Then coming to is groupthink and group shift. Yeah, as I've told you, we have groupthink and group shift, which we'll be discussing in the chapter 11. Yeah. 1 second. So a group decision making has two byproducts. One is groupthink and one is group shift. And these are two common terms which are used in organization behavior. And sometimes these look familiar, but there are differences between these two terms. Groupthink refers to a psychological phenomenon in which members of a group make decisions based on the pressure that they get from the group. Okay, that is groupthink. On the other hand, group shift refers to a condition where the position of an individual in the group changes. Okay, it changes to adopt a more extreme position due to the influence of the group. And there are certain basic differences between these two. First of all, we will see what is groupthink. So this particular term, groupthink, was actually coined by a social psychologist called as Irving Janis in 1972. And it is, as I've told you all, it is a psychological phenomenon in which members of a group make decisions based on pressures that they get from the group. This also denotes that the members put aside their opinions and beliefs. They don't take in their opinions, their beliefs, but they are pressurized to conform to the group members' opinions. Okay. Sometimes this group think can happen because of excessive optimism among the group members. And yeah, I think it's there. Excessive optimism among the group members. Sometimes it can also happen because of stereotyping. It can happen because of direct pressures. So there are many factors which can result in groupthink. Whereas group shift refers to a condition where the position of an individual in a group changes to adopt a more extreme position due to the influence of the group. This denotes that the individual would adopt a riskier decision. He would take a bold decision in his group, although in reality, this is different to his initial position. If he was alone, he wouldn't take that kind of a decision. But because he's a part of the group, he tends to take more riskier or bold decisions. Social psychologists highlight this because this is mainly because the risk is shared by the group. Here, group members think that the risk is shared by all the group members. It is not only the single individual who will be at risk, but all the group members share the risk at the same level. So that's why sometimes group members take certain decisions. This is called as group shift. Yeah. Then groupthink phenomena. Yeah. The next topic, groupthink phenomena. I think, yeah, all this I just explained. Yeah. For example, I'll just elaborate on this groupthink phenomena. For example, in groupthink, personal view can be put aside in favor of popular view. Whereas in group shift, personal view becomes much stronger due to group influence. Okay. When in pressure, in groupthink, the group has an immense pressure on the individual. Whereas in group shift, it has an immense pressure on the individual. Okay. So these are some basic differences between groupthink and group shift. Now, moving on to the various decision-making techniques, group decision-making techniques. There are many group decision-making techniques. Here, we'll be discussing about brainstorming and nominal group technique. Okay, we'll be discussing about brainstorming and nominal group technique. Coming to the first group decision-making technique, that is brainstorming. What do you mean by brainstorming? What do you mean by brainstorming, anyone? Yeah, basically, brainstorming is something like a very creative process for generating ideas that encourages quantity over quality and discourages criticism and evaluation. So brainstorming technique is very, very important in decision-making skill because it's very effective at generating ideas to solve a particular problem. Here, it is meant to overcome pressures for conformity in an interacting group that retard the development of creative alternatives. Okay. In a typical brainstorming session, half a dozen to dozen people sit around a table. The group leader states the problem in a very clear manner so that it is understood by all participants. Members then freewheel as many alternatives as they can in a given length of time. Okay, so the problem will be given to them and all the people involved or all the people present over there, they try to give in their own opinions. Okay, they try to give in their own opinions, and you know, they are free. They are free to give their opinions, but ultimately it depends who will be taking the decision. So this is called as brainstorming. We all get involved in brainstorming sometimes in our day-to-day lives, or sometimes when depending upon in whatever situation you are in, say at your home or at your workplace or anywhere else, you do a lot of brainstorming sessions when you are a part of a group, or when you have to come out with some kind of a decision or some kind of a solution for a particular problem. So brainstorming has been used very, very frequently, and many organizations make use of this particular technique to come out with lot of alternatives in a given length of time. Yes. Then another technique is nominal group technique. Yeah. Nominal group technique in group decision making. It's called as nominal group technique in group decision making. It's NGT. NGT is actually a process, it's a group process involving problem identification, involving problem identification, solution generation, and decision making. It can be used in groups of many sizes who want to make their decision quickly, as by a vote. Basically, in nominal group technique, it is defined as a structured method. Okay, it is defined as a structured method for group brainstorming that encourages contributions from everyone and facilitates quick agreement on the relative importance of the issues or problems. Here, team members begin to write down their ideas, then selecting which idea they feel is the best. Okay, so yeah. Here, the method of, the method of tallying is the difference. First, every member of the group gives their views of the solution with a short explanation. Then duplicate solutions are eliminated from the list of all solutions, and the members proceed to rank the solutions first, second, third, fourth, and so on. Like, as I've told you, they write down their ideas, and they select the best idea, and they rank the solutions first, second, third, fourth, and so on. Some facilitators will encourage the sharing and discussion of reasons for the choices made by each group member, thereby identifying common ground and plurality of ideas and approaches. So here what is happening is, in nominal group technique, all the members, whoever are giving their opinions or whoever are giving their own ideas, they are not discouraged. They are encouraged, and they are also asked why they have given this kind of a solution. So in this way, the group members, all the group members also get some kind of a recognition. Yeah. Then this diversity often allows the creation of some kind of hybrid idea. That is, when there are two or more ideas, you can combine the two or more ideas and come out with one idea. Like, you can combine, and you can combine 2-3 ideas, and you can come out with one solution. Okay. So when do we use this particular nominal group technique? Basically, nominal group technique is used when some group members are much more vocal than others. Some group members think better in silence. There is a concern about some members not participating. When the group does not easily generate quantities of ideas. When some or all groups members are new to the team. And it is also used when the issue is controversial or there is heated conflict. So during these situations, generally organizations make use of this nominal group technique. Apart from this, depending upon the situation, depending upon the criteria, depending upon the project or whatever, they make use of nominal group technique to come out with a proper decision. Yeah. Yeah. So there are some steps given for nominal group technique. Members meet as a group, but before any discussion takes place, each member independently write down ideas on the problem. After this silent period, each member presents one idea to the group. Each member takes a turn presenting a single idea until all ideas have been presented and recorded. No discussion takes place until all ideas have been recorded. Then the group discusses the idea for clarity and evaluates them. Each group member silently and independently rank orders the ideas. Then the idea with the highest aggregate ranking determines the final decision. Did you get these steps? Did you all understand how this works?
Yes, ma'am. But
Suppose,
it is not possible for group is large, no, madam. It is,
yes,
it is
sometimes
taking
it
so much
happens,
time.
yes, sometimes it so happens that when the group is, very large, it becomes difficult. But see how it works is, suppose there are 45 members in our group. Okay, I give a problem. I am the, or you can say I am the host, and I give you a problem. Okay, apart from me, there are 45 members. So all 45 members will write one idea. Okay, and all of y'all will be reading out your idea. Apart from your own idea, you will also give a rank to others' ideas. You are getting the point? Yes. Suppose the first person gives an idea and the second person likes the idea. He gives 1 point to it, rank 1. And the third person does not like the idea. He gives 3 points for that. That is rank 3. So finally, whichever idea gets the highest rank will be taken. Yes, it's just like giving scores, ranks. Okay, you all understood? The highest rank decision or the highest rank idea will be taken finally. Okay, so this is about nominal group technique and brainstorming. These two techniques are used while doing this group decision making process. Next, we have the other topic, implications for managers. Under this, we have performance and satisfaction. Yeah, under this, we have performance and satisfaction. So basically, a number of group properties show a relationship with performance. Among the most prominent, the role perception, norms, status, size of the group, and cohesiveness. Over here, you can see that the same things, that is group properties, are repeated in terms of implications for managers. Okay. So basically, there is a positive relationship between role perception and an employee's performance. That is, the degree of congruence that exists between an employee and the boss in the perception of the employee's job influences the degree to which the boss will judge the employee as an effective performer. That is, how do I perceive my employee? Suppose I'm the boss, how am I perceiving my employee, my subordinate? Based on my perception, I will evaluate the performance. Okay, I will evaluate the performance. So that is, relating to performance. Then norms. The norms of a given group can help to explain the behavior of its group members for managers. When norms support high output, managers can expect individual performance to be markedly higher than when group norms aim to restrict output. Okay. So obviously, when there's high output, definitely the individual performance will be high. Managers can expect that the individual's performance will be definitely high. Then status. Status inequities create some kind of inequalities between status can create frustration and can adversely influence productivity and the willingness to remain with an organization. Among individuals who are equity sensitive, incongruence is likely to reduce motivation and can an increased search for ways to bring about fairness. When there is no status maintained in an organization, when people show differences in status, suppose two people are there working in the same job role, job profile, same salary, same position, but one person is given a different status, another person is given a different status. Both have the same experience, skills, and everything, but still, when they show some kind of differences in the status, then definitely there is some kind of, what do you say, frustration, or some kind of what do you say, unwillingness to work any further with a particular organization. Okay, so in this context, we have size and satisfaction apart from performance. Satisfaction is performance relationship, high congruence between a boss and an employee as to the perception of employee's job shows a significant association with high employee satisfaction. Similarly, role conflict is associated with job-induced tension and job dissatisfaction. So basically, these are all kind of factors relating to group dynamics itself. And it says that when there is some kind of a role conflict, it definitely creates kind of a tension. And there is some kind of job dissatisfaction because you're not able to accomplish, or you're not able to fulfill that role completely. There is some kind of a job related or job induced tension, or some kind of job dissatisfaction. And most people prefer to communicate with others at their own status level or a higher one rather than with those below them. So this also again creates some kind of a conflict. Okay, so this is with unit 11, that is group processes and decision making. So let's begin with chapter 12 also, that is understanding work teams. Hear me? Can
Yes,
you hear
madam,
me?
audible. Yes, madam, audible.
Yeah. Can you all hear me?
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
Because constantly it's going into somebody is muting me. I don't know, maybe technical problem. Yeah. Coming to unit 12, that is understanding work teams.
Now also it is breaking, ma'am.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll continue. Understanding work teams. In this, we will be saying what is the difference between a group and a team. How do teams work? How do groups work? And what are the different types of teams? Like we have problem-solving teams and self-managed work teams, cross-functional teams, and virtual teams. And apart from this, we'll be seeing creation of effective teams. How a team can be created effectively. How does a team work very effectively? So basically, what do you call as a team? I mean, what do you mean by a team? In basic terms, a team can be defined as a small number of people with a set of performance goals. Okay, they have some goals to be achieved, who have a commitment to a common purpose and an approach for which they hold themselves mutually accountable. That's what is a team. Like we as a team, we say, okay, they always have that we feeling. Teams must be of a manageable size, definitely, and that all team members must be committed to reach team goals. Apart from this, the team members must be jointly accountable for their actions and the outcomes of these actions. So coming to the differences between groups and teams. Yeah. Can you tell me what is the difference between groups and teams? Are they same?
No, ma'am. In group, there may be unlimited members. In team, there is a limited members.
Yeah. In groups?
There will be n number of persons.
Okay.
In team, there is a limited person.
Okay.
In group, there will not be any coordination, ma'am. There is not necessary that there will be a coordination among the group members. But in team, it should be communicated to each other.
Okay. Yes. So basically, groups and teams are not the same thing. Okay. We bring about some kind of clarity, and we see what are the differences between groups and team. First, we will see what is a group. A group is a collection of individuals who coordinate their efforts, while a team is a group of people who share a common goal. That's the difference. A group is defined as a collection of individuals who coordinate their efforts, while a team is a group of people who share a common goal. Okay. So a group is defined as two or more individuals interacting and interdependent who have come together to achieve particular objectives. A work group is a group that interacts primarily to share information and to make decisions to help each member perform within his or her area of responsibility. Like they are there in the group, they're just coordinating their efforts. Okay. Work groups have no need or opportunity to engage in collective work that requires joint effort. So their performance is merely the summation of each group member's individual contribution, obviously. There is no positive synergy that would create an overall level of performance that is greater than the sum of the inputs. Whereas on the other side, if you take a team, whereas in group, there is individual goals. In team, there are shared goals. In group, there is individual accountability. In team, there is individual and mutual accountability. So basically, a work team generates positive synergy through coordinated efforts. And their individual efforts results in a level of performance that is greater than the sum of those individual inputs. Like when they are in a team, the performance is much higher. Okay. Yeah. Apart from this, in a group, individual success or failure, and in a team, there is collective success or failure. Okay. 1 second. Apart from this, apart from this, the other differences, when two or more individuals are classed together either by the organization or out of social needs, it is known as a group. On the other hand, a team is a collection of people who are linked together to achieve some common objective. So most of the work in the business field is performed in groups. Okay, most of the time it is performed in groups. And in groups, there is only one.
It is in group or team, ma'am?
In groups, sometimes
in organizations.
In groups. In groups, what happens is depending upon the comparison. Okay, depending upon the type of comparison. Say, for example, based on leadership, you can say in groups there is only one leader. In teams, there are more than one leader. Whereas in members, depending upon members, in group, it is independent, whereas in team, it is interdependent. In group, they discuss, they decide, and they delegate. They tell others to do it. In team, they discuss, they decide, and they do it. Okay. It's an individual effort, it's a collective effort in a group. And in group, they accomplish individual goals, whereas in team, accomplishing team goals. Okay. So these are the basic, differences which we have. There is only one head in a group a team can have more than one head. The group members do not share responsibility, but team members share the responsibility. The group focuses on achieving the individual goals. Conversely, the team members focus on achieving the team goals. The group produces individual work outputs as opposed to the team who produces collective work product. Though there are differences between groups and teams, there are also similarities. Like there is face-to-face relationship, there is interaction of members, there are two or more people in a group or in a team, there is a leader. They focus on achievement of an objective, whether individual objective or group objective, collective objective. There is a focus on achievement of the objective. Okay. So in this context, we have different types of teams depending upon the objectives, depending upon the role of what role they have to play, depending upon the project objectives, goals. There are different types of teams. Teams can do a variety of things. They can make products, provide services, negotiate deals, coordinate projects, offer advice, and make decisions. Coming to different kinds of teams, the first one is problem-solving team. What is this problem-solving team? Here, every team, every type, in this particular section, when they are trying to tell us what are the different types of teams, they tell us how this team, how a particular team, how it is developed, how many members will be there in the team, what work do they do. So in problem-solving teams, here they are typically composed of 15 to 20 hourly employees from the same department who meet for a few hours each week to discuss ways of improving quality, efficiency, and the work environment. Okay, these are called as problem-solving teams. Yes, these are called as problem-solving teams. So in problem-solving teams, the members share ideas or offer suggestions on how work processes and methods can be improved. Although they rarely have the authority or unilaterally implement any of the suggested actions. So this is how it is worked. Then self-managed work teams. That's the second type of work team. I think we are done with the class because it's already 2:57. The next teacher might be joining in. Yes. Yeah. So we'll continue with this types of teams in tomorrow's class again. I hope it's clear.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay then. Thank you, ma. I'll see you all tomorrow at 1:30 then.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ma'am, I have a doubt now.
Yes, ma.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, in groups, we may have formal group and informal group. And in teams also, we can have formal and informal groups, ma'am.
Yes, depending. That's what I said. Depending upon the nature of the team, why it is created. Okay. Depending upon the nature of the why a particular team is created. Say, for example, we have a football team. We have a cricket team. We call it as a team. We don't call it as a group.
Yes, ma'am.
We call it as a team because they all collectively
for the particular purpose we form a team. So
yes, for a particular purpose we form a team. Okay, that's for collective efforts. Like if one person wins, the whole team wins. It's like that. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.